Hello, welcome back to our channel, the Couple Binders channel. I'm Lucy. This is my husband Ronald Kazibwe. We are the Couple Binders. We help couples to thrive in their marriages. Chisoboka is our hashtag, self-created. Now, communication.
Today we want to talk about one of those pitfalls in marriage, an area that has had issues over with many of the couples that we interact with, and it's an issue called communication.
This communication, lack of communication,
it's all falls within communication.
Within communication. So if you're unable to communicate to your spouse, your marriage will die. There is no way around that. You're not able to communicate, you'll not be happy in your marriage, you'll not be satisfied, your marriage will die. So we don't want your marriage to die before its time. We want we teach one of the key things we start with when we are interacting with couples, to teach them how to communicate together. What we've learned, what has worked for us, what they can incorporate.
One of the first things we learned was that men and women have very different ways they communicate. Men, the way we are wired is that we have boxes in our brains. We deal with one thing at a go.
And you don't have practical boxes. You're using them. Let's call them boxes, but they're like compartments. Someone will ask, Ronnie, are you sure there are boxes in our brains?
The compartments. But that's how it is. I'm talking of a language that is psychological, not biological. Yes, but psychologically, the way we deal with things, the way we communicate, the way we perceive, because communication is about sending and receiving messages. The way we send and receive messages is compartmentalized.
It's different for the men and for the women. How different is it?
The men, like I've said, it's compartmentalized. And women, while women things zigzag around, if it were a bee, it would zigzag through the brain and then it comes out.
We are not zigzaggers. Women, we are created beautifully. Forgive my husband. We are created so beautifully that we can handle very many things at a go. You'll find me on my phone. I'm also watching the child. I'm also writing. I'm also watching the TV. When you move it, I am following something. However, those who have studied the brain say the men concentrate on one thing at a time. So it's like they have boxes in their head. You pull out one, he does that, he puts back. He pulls out another, he does that, he puts it back.
It's a joke you raise up. A woman can be on WhatsApp. And then a woman can be on WhatsApp, and then she can be listening to music, and then she can be watching TV, and then cooking. So when you come in a room and you switch off the TV, then she say, I was watching that. And you wonder, how were they doing that? And then on the other hand, men, you find a man is in one when he's watching football.
He's watching football.
Football, nothing else.
When that is done, then he will go to another. So what does this teach us about communication? For a man, communicate one thing at a time. It's not a good idea to first of all know where he is at. If he's watching football, leave him to do that, then you communicate important information after that. Otherwise, you'll be frustrated. He will not hear what you're saying.
And if you give him a list of, say, you're going to go to the market, buy for me buy for me a tray of eggs, buy for me Pampers, buy for me maybe milk. Now he might hear milk
and forget the other things.
Because that's how his brain is wired in communication, to receive information.
One easy way on that, if you're sending your husband to buy things, it's a good idea to have a list, so that now he can tick and know that this is bought, this is bought, this is bought. It's not a weakness, it is the way God created them, and it is beautiful.
Someone made a joke about how they would tell their spouse whenever they would send them for things. They would say, "Husband, go and buy me." She lists all these things. Then after she says, "Who is Carol?" or "Who is Esther?" And husband is like, "Esther." His brain comes back. It's like, "I don't know what that is." And then the woman is like, "Yes, exactly." So these are the list of the things I wanted to buy for me.
Getting his attention.
Yes.
Yeah. So they also say it's not a good idea to put a man in charge of many things at a time. Give him one task at a go, so that he's not then he can work better. So women's brain is a big topic.
Yeah.
Before we leave men's brains, women's brains, one of the compartments they say men have in their brain is the nothing box.
Yeah.
They have the ability to be there thinking nothing, doing nothing, but breathing and living like normal humans.
Someone come and say, you find, I've had these cases where couples say, a woman asks the husband, "What are you thinking about?" And a man says, "Nothing."
Nothing.
And the man is like, "No, you're lying. How can you be thinking about nothing?" Oh, by the way, it is possible. Men have the ability to think about nothing. And it is interestingly, it's their favorite box.
Gaba, it's our favorite box. It is said that if they could choose, men would choose to just be there doing nothing.
Yeah.
So knowing that, dear lady, knowing that your man would rather do nothing, don't get angry that he doesn't want to do things. Yeah? Instead, encourage him and use the tricks of communication so that he can do something. Because normally he would rather do nothing. Yeah? Knowing that, don't get angry that for me my husband does nothing. How come the other people's husbands do something? It's because they have learned to work around how to get their men to do what they want them to do. I think we shall do another video on that, how to get your man to do what you want to do. But what else did you want to highlight in communication, honey?
I also wanted to highlight that in communication, communication is affected by our values and how we are raised. That a W can look like an M to
and
another.
A 6 can look like a 9.
Yes. So couples need to appreciate each other, where they were raised, how they were raised, the values that they hold. These sometimes affect the way they send and receive messages, and this affects communication. So sometimes if people don't appreciate that, they'll keep having fights. Fights which wouldn't have been there in the first place. Yes. It's a broad topic. It is one of the 4 pillars that hold a marriage together.
Yes.
And we shall
there is also communicating with respect. How you pass on information with respect, and using the I instead of you. Like if my husband does something to me and I'm communicating, maybe I was hurt, I'll tell him, Ronnie, I felt hurt when you did this and this, instead of you are always hurting me, you're out there to get me. Because when you use the you, they become defensive. Each person, when you use you, becomes defensive. So to bring them on board, you use the I feel this,
It's one of those things that we always talk about. It's broad, and it is one of the conversations that we shall have at one of the points in future, on the Fridays, the last Fridays of the month, and we shall explore different ways, have different case studies, and also maybe as we have different couples, invite different couples to share how they communicate and some of the hacks they have got. Maybe others will learn from them.
Yes. All these things we teach you abroad, we have learned them over years. Come and utilize our skills. Can come to us for one-on-one couple session. Tell us the kazi ways. Today, I want you to help us with the communication. Let's sit down for 2 hours. Teach us how to communicate with each other, and we help you and support you in that. Communicate. If you don't communicate, your marriage will die. But you have to learn how to communicate so that your spouse feels respected, feels loved, but also reciprocates and does what you request them to do.
I'm communicating.
You're communicating that it's cold.
So, see you. Keep in touch. Please follow us and reach out to us in case you need our support.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ciao.